Hi guys, this is Garth Harris, Vice President of Product Innovation here at Cake, and welcome to training number 1, a part of a 3-part training series within our starter series. So first and foremost, welcome to Cake. Welcome to your first training. We hope you get the most out of it. This is training number 1 out of 3, as you can see. And the first training is intended to give you the fundamentals. So everything that you're going to need to understand about our Cake platform, about navigating the platform, about how attribution and tracking works. It lays the foundation for everything moving forward. Training number 2 is going to be a bit more focused on adding everything into the system. So once you get access to your own platform, we'll want you to do this side by side with us. So we want you to add your own affiliates, your own advertisers, etc., and we'll walk you through how to do it on our side while you do it on your side. And lastly is going to be a reporting and accounting training. So once you actually have all your stuff built and you have traffic flowing through the system, we're going to guide you on how to best use our reporting functionality along with our accounting. Alright, so let's get started with training number 1. This should take about 30 to 45 minutes, and we're just going to be in the PowerPoint today, not in the actual system. So let's go ahead and kick things off. Alright, so as I mentioned, this is a fundamentals training, and our agenda for today is going to be primarily focused on your syllabus week, essentially. So all of the terminology, tracking and attribution. We're going to go through some monetization tools so that you know how to modify Cake to take advantage of our features once you're actually tracking live traffic. Of course, we're going to show you how to navigate Cake so you know where things are and just the easiest way to get to certain things. We're going to go through security and permissions. As you add users to your platform, you're going to want to know how to do roles access and make sure that your platform is secure from outsiders logging into your system. Some useful tools. We'll walk you through our third integration partners so that you have an awareness of who you can plug into Cake to get a more full experience of our platform. And lastly, we'll go through how to get a hold of our support team and some services that we offer. So first, let's kick things off by going through the Cake terminology and our pyramid, which kind of walks you through the organizational structure of the platform. So let's start off with the vertical. The vertical is going to be that industry or part of digital marketing, the type of products that you're advertising. So verticals are fully custom. You build out the verticals however you see fit. They are ultimately there as a reporting and categorization tool for you. They'll be useful in the affiliate portal so that when affiliates are looking for offers, they can filter by verticals. And they'll also be useful inside of the platform on the admin side for reporting purposes. So you can see how your mortgage vertical is doing versus your Nutra vertical versus your dating vertical. So you can have all sorts of verticals in the system, and they are you can add as many as you like. The second term is advertiser. So an advertiser in Cake is going to be your partner or yourself who owns the landing pages for your offers. So an advertiser could be another affiliate network. It could be a brand that you are the agency of record for that you're driving traffic to. So essentially in Cake, an advertiser has to exist before you build out the offering, which takes us to the offer. So the offer is really going to be that one or many landing pages that you're driving traffic to in exchange for some kind of payment from your advertiser. So that could be based on a cost per acquisition or a cost per lead. Your advertiser might be paying you on a cost per click. But the offer is going to have its own attribution. It's going to have the ability to set up your own creatives. And it's going to have, like I said, multiple landing pages. You can set up multiple price formats, but it really is going to be that agreement between you and your advertiser for the product or products that you are driving traffic to. The affiliate is going to be any traffic source in your system. So whether it is an actual affiliate of yours, a partner, it could be another affiliate network. It could be somebody internal to your business. An affiliate is really just the source of the traffic. And an affiliate will drive traffic to an offer. And that combination of those two is going to be that campaign entity. So the campaign is that lowest level entity in our platform where everything starts. That's where traffic initiates from. So that is our high level terminology. all of those terms will actually have entities in the platform as well. When you log into the system, you will be able to create all of these things, so it'll be very obvious and easy to navigate. But yeah, let's just move on to now our tracking and attribution. So at the core of what we do at Cake is tracking. Whether you're tracking an impression, a click, or a conversion / event, tracking really is the fundamentals of what we do. And how we do it is through various tracking links, pixels, etc., in combination with this concept of attribution. So first, let's talk about impression tracking. Impression tracking primarily happens in email campaigns or display campaigns. Cake does give you the ability to generate what's called an impression pixel. And that impression pixel is a lightweight pixel that you can embed either in an email or you can even embed it in a creative. So the actual creative process will vary depending on what you're actually uploading into Cake. But if you do have an HTML creative asset that you're uploading, you can embed our impression pixel. And impressions have cookie days, so as the cookie loads, it will have a timer on it. So by default, it'll be 30 days that we are going to track this user until either they remove their cookies or that cookie expires. So impression tracking is one of the ways in which you can track a user, which will allow you to see how many views of your ad you had. It also allows you to do things called view-through conversions, which is a user saw your ad, you never tracked the click, but then they converted on your offer down the road. And view-through conversions is a feature in Cake that allows you to track users at that level. But that's where we start with our tracking. Click tracking is probably the most popular thing we do in conjunction with conversion tracking. So click tracking happens in one of two ways. The first way is either through a tracking link. So in Cake, you will generate tracking links for your affiliates. Those are also called unique links. And that tracking link, because it is unique, is per affiliate, per campaign that they're running traffic to. And so you'll give your affiliate this tracking link. That affiliate will place that tracking link in either an email or inside of a wherever medium they're placing it on, in like a display ad, etc. And then when users click on that, Cake does a 302 redirect to the landing page that you've set up in Cake. So tracking links are by far the most popular way that users are tracked within Cake because it really allows you to fine-tune who the traffic source is and also any kind of sub-ID parameters thereafter, which we'll get into at a later time, but tracking links are the primary use. Now, there also is another way of tracking clicks called a click pixel. As opposed to a tracking link, this is actually something you actually embed onto a web page. Whether it's a third-party web page, your web page, etc., what a tracking pixel allows you to do is allow you to track a click without actually having to redirect from A to B. You actually just land on the landing page and the click pixel will load. Now there's a couple ways that you can configure tracking click pixels. One is a static click pixel and one is a dynamic click pixel. We're not going to go into the nuances on this training, but if you have any questions about those, feel free to reach out to our support team or view our knowledge base where you can research those a bit more. All right. And lastly, within tracking is this conversion or event concept. So once a user clicks on the tracking link or goes to the landing page, what are they doing? Are they downloading something? Are they filling out their email address? Are they buying something? Whatever those actions may be, you can track those with your advertiser through the use of a conversion pixel. And there's two primary ways that happens. Either a browser-based conversion pixel, meaning that the pixel lives on the actual website. It's naked to the user's eye, but that conversion pixel will be on the web page, usually on some kind of confirmation page. So the user bought something, and now they get to the confirmation page saying thank you. On that page, the pixel will load and look for the cookie from the click. Now, the other way that conversion and event tracking can happen is through server-to-server tracking. And we'll get into that in just a second. But that's actually not a browser-based pixel. That's actually a server call going from your advertiser's server or platform and Cake. So they have to make a call, an API call to Cake, saying, hey, a conversion just occurred, and we're notifying you about that. So how that all happens, we get into later, but those are the two primary ways in which you can track, but those are conversions and also events. So that's tracking. Let's now get into some price formats, because in affiliate marketing, performance-based marketing, it's all going to come down to how you get paid and how you pay your affiliates. Now, price formats are primarily there to dictate, again, how the advertiser is going to pay you, and then consequently, how you are going to pay your affiliates. Now, the first one is going to be the most popular one. This is by far most widely used. This is on a cost per acquisition or cost per action. So that's CPA. So that's going to be the most popular one. So anytime the conversion pixel fires, you pay the affiliate a static amount that you've set up. CPC is on a cost per click. That's where you have an agreement with your affiliate where you will pay them every single time a click comes through from that traffic source, from that affiliate. So depending on your attribution settings, you can either pay on every click or you can only pay on unique clicks. So that is something that you can set up within the platform. CPM is cost per milli. That is where you're actually paying on per 1,000 impressions. So we talked earlier about how that impression pixel can load, and if we track 1,000 of those from your affiliate, we will pay out whatever that amount is that you've configured. A rev share is most commonly used in either retail or e-commerce, where an actual product is being purchased and your advertiser is passing through the revenue on the conversion pixel. Then you can actually set up a percentage to pay to your affiliate. So you can set up a 20% rev share. Your advertiser passes in $100 on the conversion pixel. You would pay the affiliate $20 for that conversion. So rev share is very popular, and there are a few ways you can configure rev share as well, but that's primarily the most popular way of doing it. And lastly is fixed. Fixed is less commonly used. That's where you actually want to pay your affiliate a set amount regardless of how many conversions are tracked. So you just put in $100 and you tell your affiliate to just send the traffic on through, and we will just track those conversions and reverse engineer how much each conversion is. So it's almost like an effective CPA. So it's not how much you paid them up front, it's how much each conversion is really worth. So that's more for like a display ad where it's like you want to just say, hey, I want to spend $100 with you for a week, or $100 with you for a day, whatever that amount is. That's going to be more for fixed. All right, so those are our price formats. You set those on the offer. And then consequently, the affiliates will have that price format when they have a campaign for that offer. So let's go through some best practices real quick for tracking. Especially now, browsers across the board are getting a bit more tight on their privacy policies, and therefore they are changing the way in which cookies behave on the web browser. So we've seen it with Safari, with ITP, we've seen it with Chrome V80, Firefox is having updates now. So essentially, cookies are risky. And because cookies are risky, we can't rely on them to track efficiently and to track consistently. So instead of relying on the cookie that would normally get set on the click of the tracking link, so we would put a first-party cookie on the user's machine after the click of a tracking link, and then when you use like a web-based pixel, like an iframe pixel or a JavaScript pixel, etc., those pixels are dependent on the cookie. If the cookie isn't there, then Cake basically says, hey, we have no cookie to match that conversion to. So our best practice is therefore, don't use cookie-based tracking. Use our server-to-server tracking. So that is going to be called a postback URL inside of Cake. Anecdotally, we say server-to-server tracking or postback tracking, or cookieless tracking. That is going to be your first best practice. So when you go into your system and you're creating your offer, there's going to be that pixel button, and the postback URL option is going to be your best practice. Now, we respect that server-to-server tracking isn't always a thing with your advertisers. Sometimes they don't support it. That's okay. We can use our next best practice, which today still is cookie-based tracking. So you can still use cookies. They're not fully obsolete across the board by any means, and we don't even know for sure if they will be. But if you can't do server-to-server tracking, then we would recommend you using cookie-based tracking through a Cake tracking link. And that is first-party cookie tracking. Now, through all of this, the third best practice is also it's not relying on cookies by any means. It's more of a fingerprint. So it's something that we can latch onto about the user without getting into anything like their name or their email address. We're actually talking about things like their IP address or maybe what device they're using. So if we see that it is IP address 1.2.3.4 and we see an iPhone, well, we can probabilistically say that that user that we saw on the click 5 minutes ago is the same user on the conversion. We didn't have a cookie, and we don't have server-to-server tracking set up, so it's better than nothing. We can actually see that it's the same kind of fingerprint on the click and on the conversion. And you can set your time frame window as tight as you want or as large as you want within reason. So some of our fingerprint tracking only allows you to go up to 24 hours because in all reality, we know that IP addresses can change going from cellular to Wi-Fi, and also a lot of people have the same phones out there, so we just don't know for certain. So the closer you can tighten up that time frame on fingerprint tracking, the better. Voucher code tracking is it's not a last-ditch effort, it's just a different way of tracking. It's, hey, I don't have any of these things. I can't do fingerprint, I don't have a click, I have nothing. So the alternative to tracking would be to use something that we can attribute the conversion to your affiliate. We don't know exactly necessarily which user, but we do know that we saw this voucher code assigned to this affiliate, and because we saw this voucher code on the conversion, we can say, hey, with certainty, this user should be attributed to this affiliate because the voucher code was there. So those are our best practices for tracking. We have server-to-server tracking, first-party cookie tracking, fingerprint tracking, and voucher code tracking. So now when we talk about attribution, we talk about, well, who should get credit for the conversion? Let's just say we have our best practices in place. Server-to-server tracking is in place, and now we want to figure out, well, do we pay affiliate A or affiliate B? Because within affiliate marketing, what tends to happen is that you have a single user who could interact with more than one of your affiliates because they are going after the same audience across similar media buying platforms. So is it affiliate A you want to pay because they drove the first click? Or is it affiliate B because they drove the last click? Which leads us to our attribution models. So when it comes to paying your affiliates, there really is only two options. It's first or last touch. So within a first touch model, what you're basically saying is that I really like the awareness that this affiliate brought. They didn't drive it home necessarily and result in the sale, but they brought awareness to my campaign. So without this affiliate, maybe this user wouldn't even know that this offer was there. So they should get the credit. Versus last touch attribution is basically saying, yeah, the user knew about it, but really the last touched affiliate should get the credit because they're the one that kind of closed the deal. So that is a configuration per offer, and you can kind of set that as you build your offer. So first touch and last touch. So when we consider first touch and last touch, there are some rules that you should consider, and we'll go into those right now. So the first one is your cookie days. So a user clicks on the ad, we set the cookie. Then they convert. Well, how long was it between the click and the conversion? And that's where the cookie day time frame becomes handy, because by default in Cake, it's 30 days, which means that if you are on a first touch basis, for example, if the affiliate that drove the first click, they are protected by default for 30 days. Or unless the user removes the cookie, then that kind of breaks the rules altogether. But if the cookie is there, then they get that 30-day window. If it's last touch, then that 30-day window continues to reset with each new touch by a different affiliate. And so essentially that's the time frame in which we're giving credit to that affiliate. So you may be operating on a 30-day window where you want to give your affiliates that credit. You may button it up a little bit to be a bit shorter, maybe 1 day or a few days. But we give you those options. So that's your cookie day window that we have. View through conversions, I touched on it previously. It is a setting you have to enable. It's not on by default, so you have to turn this on if you want to do view through conversions. View through conversions is dependent on tracking impressions. So you have to track the impression for the affiliate, and then if there is no click, then you can then track the conversion once you have view through conversions enabled. Now allow duplicates is on by default. So essentially what we're saying here is that we assume, but we give you the configuration to say otherwise, we assume that you want to track every click that comes through the platform by default, because that is going to give you the most raw numbers. And typically when you are leveraging other affiliate networks or other affiliates that are using attribution platforms like Cake, we typically see that the other players out there will just track every click. Well, that's how we do it by default out of the box. However, you can change that. You can go into your offer and go to the attribution settings and say, I don't want to track duplicates. I only want to track the unique click from that user. Every other click after that is a duplicate. That is unless it comes from a different affiliate. Well, that's a unique click. So it is something to consider. And our best practice is that regardless of your offers across the board, we would say consult with your advertiser, consult with your affiliates. How are they setting things up? Because the last thing you want to do is get into some kind of argument either with Cake or with your advertiser or affiliates and say, hey, we're tracking more clicks than you, or you're tracking, you're misattributing. It's like, well, that's all configuration. It's all settings. So you want to be mindful of that as you're going through that. All right, next section. The next section is Monetization Tools. So as you are using the platform and you are tracking all of that great traffic of yours, you're going to want to know how to take advantage of these tools to make sure you're getting the most bang for your buck, essentially. So let's explore the first tool together. The first one is our geo and rules targeting. So they're kind of two features in one group. And the first one is geo. Geo is fairly simple. So let's just say you have an offer, and really the advertiser will only pay you based on traffic coming from a certain country because the product that they're selling is only applicable in that country. So let's call it life insurance, and you're in the US. So in that case, you don't really want traffic coming through your offer and going to the landing page if they're not in the US. And we can do that. We can block that traffic. So you would actually go into the offer, set US only, and here's the benefit. Now your EPCs are healthier, your conversion rates are healthier, your advertiser is happier because you are now sending traffic that is bouncing less. So they are benefiting from the tools that you are leveraging inside of the platform. Now rules targeting takes it a few steps deeper or more advanced, where you can actually get into things like the actual device of the user, the ISP, the carrier. You can do all sorts of advanced things with rules targeting. So, including geo, actually. You can actually go down to a state and city level. or a region level. So if you're in another country and you want to get into the regions of that country, you can do that with our rules targeting, which is awesome. But we start with the basics of geo-targeting, help you fine-tune what traffic is going through, and then if you want to get even crazier, you can do rules targeting, and you can even disperse that traffic to other landing pages within your offer, while still tracking everything in a single offer, which is really cool. So those are some of the most commonly used tools in our platform. Now, the offer redirect strategy is something that you're going to want to take advantage of to say, well, let's say I set up some rules or some geo-targeting, or something happened. I hit a cap or something. Now, where does that traffic go when that rule is triggered? And that's where we have a wonderful kind of network of redirects that you can deploy. So let's just say, for example, somebody from Canada just clicked on your offer that is US only. Where do we send that user? Well, there are multiple layers of redirects, but on the offer card itself, there's a drop-down that says redirect offer. And that's where you can just send kind of global traffic, or maybe a Canadian-based, life insurance offer, whatever you want to do. But you can have a redirect rule in place to ensure that you're not just ignoring the traffic, you're monetizing it. So that is the benefit of our offer redirect strategy. So post-conversion redirects is another tool that you can use. So let's say a user comes through your funnel, they click on the tracking link, they go to the offer, and they convert. Now, what happens if they click on your tracking link again? Do you want to send them back to the landing page knowing that they already converted? Because Cake knows they already converted because we have the cookie on their machine. Assuming they still have that cookie there, and they click on that tracking link, where do you want to send them? So we have an upsell path that you can deploy that allows you to say, hey, you've already converted on offer A. I'm now going to send you to upsell offer B. So there is an upsell strategy. There's various ways you can deploy redirects if somebody has already converted. Lastly is kind of like your catch-all. It's a safety net for traffic that just doesn't fit anywhere. So they went through all the redirects paths and there was no fit. Or you turned off an affiliate and they're now going to the global redirect. So the global redirect is your catch-all. You can't monetize it in Cake necessarily, but it is a website URL that we do allow you to set up in the system in case you can monetize it outside of Cake. But you can't fire tracking pixels and report on it inside of Cake because it's essentially traffic that doesn't fit anywhere else. So the global redirect is your last-ditch effort to monetize that traffic. All right, we just laid a ton of groundwork for the attribution, tracking, etc. We went through all the terminology. Now let's just go explore Cake a little bit. I'm going to walk you through a few GIFs that are going to show you where all the main components are of the platform. So next section, navigating Cake. The first one is going to be just basic navigation of your instance. So here is our main login screen. You'll notice that we have our main tabs off to the left-hand side. And when you click on one of the main tabs, you're going to actually see a series of sub-tabs loading right next to that. So we clicked on the advertisers. Now we have all the advertisers sub-tabs. The sub-tabs load the main screen. Now, this little icon here, this is how you can maximize the screen so that you can get most out of Cake. It's just helpful for reporting primarily, but you can kind of make that shift back and forth. Now, on the bottom left here, we have all your profile information. The biggest thing here is how you can access support. So you have the phone number there, and you can also submit a ticket from that section as well. Now, within the system, we have a card-based platform, and this is actually really handy for multitasking. So you can have multiple cards open at any given time, and those cards allow you to multitask. So I can be changing a payout on a campaign card, updating a landing page on an offer card, all within one screen. Now, if I want to close those cards out, just click that button in the top right. All right, up next is going to be our search and action menu. So on the top, we have our global search. The global search is a phenomenal tool. You can search anything from affiliates, advertisers, unique conversions, filter on the left-hand side. It's an extremely powerful tool. It's just the easiest way I have found for navigating the system when I know what I'm looking for. So I don't have to click through the tabs to get to where I'm going. Also, we have our action menu. The action menu is going to be your fastest way of accomplishing most tasks in the platform. So if I want to add a new advertiser, add a new offer, add a new affiliate, it's all there. I would highly recommend getting used to going to that action menu for when you want to actually add new things to the system. All right. Last, when it comes to navigating the platform, is custom appearances. Now, you don't have to use the default colors or the logos that first come out of Cake. What we would recommend you do is white label it so that when your affiliates log in, they see your colors, they see your logos, etc. So by clicking on that Setup tab, we can take you to that custom appearance section where you can change the name. You can add your logos, so your fav icon. You can add your sign-up page logo, your login page logo. There's lots of logos you can add and really customize and white label the system just for you. All right. Now let's go ahead and go on to security and permissions. So within security and permissions, we have lots of roles. Now we have standard roles that the platform comes with, but we also have the ability to add custom roles that have custom permissions. And I would highly recommend you review the permissions first, because as a business owner or as an affiliate manager, you may have jobs and responsibilities that you need to do that you need access to. So I would recommend you going through the whole permissions list and making sure that you have access to those things, or turning off the things that you don't want certain team members to have access to. So the cool thing is that you can highly customize it all, and you can fine-tune it exactly how you want it to be. So out of the gates, we're going to add an administrator to the system, or to the platform for you. You are the first administrator, and then from there, you can kind of add all the custom roles and permissions you want. That is found in the Setup tab under the Roles and Permissions section. Now, the security setting is a way in which you can identify how strong you want your password to be. We've also, at the time of this recording anyways, we've recently added multi-factor authentication into the platform as well, just for heightened security, which will actually hide away your API keys until you've actually authenticated. So when we go through the system, we always recommend that you review those security settings and actually set your password strength. And there's also going to be a session timeout that you can deploy as well. So all things that you're going to want to consider as you launch the system for the very first time. All right. Now, when it comes to just basic admin tools of the system, yes, we've gone through what our offers are and affiliates, and we've gone through attribution and tracking, etc. But we did want to introduce some basic admin tools in this training so that you have an idea of what those are before you go live, because I think it's really important to take these into consideration as you go and build out your platform, because they are going to be useful tools. Now, the first useful tool that we'd like to introduce to you is this concept of tags. Tags are an extremely powerful feature within the platform. So let's say you have 100 affiliates, and you have a handful of affiliates that are in, this region of the world and also doing email. Well, that may be difficult to customize in the platform because maybe we don't have the exact drop down or the exact filtering that you're looking for. Tags are fully customizable. So you can deploy tags on basically most of the high-level entities. So on your affiliates, on your advertisers for sure. And that's a great starting point to start to catalog the types of partners that you have. So, for example, you may have a group of emailers in Europe, and you want to be able to report on that group of partners in one spot at an aggregate level where we will actually group them for you, and then you can drill down. So they're extremely powerful. So why don't we actually show you in the system real quick just where to actually set those so you have that familiarity before you actually build out your first affiliates and offers in the system. So we are going to open up an offer for you. And so once that offer card opens up, you'll see on the right-hand side, we have that tags tab, and they're really easy to add. So just simply click on that add button, and you can either choose from a drop-down of pre-existing tags, or you can just type in a new one and hit add. And now that tag is there and readily available for you, again, primarily as a reporting function. So just again, how quick and easy that was to add in a new tag. We're also going to show you how you can now report on that tag. So again, I think the setup for tags was you can do lots of things, but the biggest thing that you can do with tags is the reports. So we have our offer report, but we also have our offer tag report. And this is where, again, we'll just aggregate all your traffic based on those tags. So you can see that tag that we added. I can now find my tag very easily, and there it is. That was the offer that we just added. So it's very simple, very easy to use. Now, the next, probably like one of the most important features that we want to make sure that we highlight for new clients to make sure they're getting the most out of the platform is alerts. Alerts are essentially these custom rules that you can set up that will then get triggered primarily by traffic, and then you can get an email in real time when that trigger happens. So there's lots of different ways in which you can configure either at a global level or at a per offer level or at a per affiliate level. So when we talk about fraud prevention, primarily we're talking about either the conversion rates are just astronomically too high, the quantity of conversions you're getting. There's all sorts of ways in which you know your traffic based on your products that you're promoting, and you know that the click-to-conversion ratio or the amount of traffic you should be getting is within a threshold. And so our fraud prevention alerts allows you to fully customize what that experience looks like. So when you go into your system, you'll go to Setup, you'll find our Alerts tab, and we already have a bunch of canned alerts that you can subscribe to, but we would recommend you actually go into them and modify them based on the traffic that you're running. So there's lots of different alerts. There's campaign management alerts around affiliates reaching a cap or about to reaching a cap. So you know, oh, my affiliate is about to reach a cap. I should reach out to my affiliate and let them know that they're getting close to reaching caps. They can either A, continue running traffic to that offer because I'm redirecting that traffic already, or B, they can allocate their budget to something else. So that is another fantastic alert that we have in the system that will keep you on your toes while managing your affiliates. We have security alerts around excessive login failures. You don't want to have people just trying to log into your system, so you can get an alert about that with the IP address, etc. And you also have great affiliate management alerts, simply like, hey, I had an affiliate sign up. Well, that's good. Maybe you're on the road and you want to be able to check your system and contact that affiliate right away. So there's lots of alerts, and the alerts are fantastic. They're going to keep you involved in your traffic, involved in the security, and in the overall quality of your program. So I would heavily advise you to go and check out our alerts and take advantage of them. So the next thing I want to show you regarding alerts is actually the process of subscribing. So once you build and configure your alerts, you're going to want to actually subscribe to them so that you're getting the email alerts that you want and not necessarily all of them. So let's go through this GIF real quick. Clicking on my name. All right, opening up my contact card. Opening the alerts tab. And now I can see all of the alerts available in the system. And I want to subscribe to this new campaign approval alert. So I can subscribe to it right from my contact card. It's as easy as that. So open up your contact card, go to the alerts tab, and find the alerts that you are looking to subscribe to or unsubscribe from so that you're not getting a slew of emails. All right. Another feature that we want to introduce to you is our email. So Email is not a primary function of Cake. It is a useful tool, though, that allows you to send almost like newsletter-styled emails to your affiliates that are not intended to be replied to. So, hey, we just launched a new offer. Or, hey, we just uploaded new creatives to this offer. Whatever that may be, we allow you to customize email templates that then allow you to then filter in our email tool to say, hey, I only want to send this email template to this pool of affiliates. All right? So we're actually going to show you in the platform real quick how easy it is to go and send a bunch of emails. So first, we're going to go into Setup. Go into our email template section. I can add a new email template by clicking on that top right button. Give it a name. And once that wizard opens up, you'll actually also have the ability to select whether it's going to be a plain text email or HTML. So you can actually make it as feature rich or as email rich as you want it to be through that HTML button that we're highlighting here. And then from there, you just create your template, use the tokens, and now that template can be saved for all future purposes. Let's just finish out this wizard, highlighting some of the tokens that we have available. All right, and we just click Save. So we've built out our email template. Now we want to actually send out an email to our affiliates. So clicking on that action menu on the top right, go to the Send Email section, and let's say we want to send an email to our affiliates. So now I'm going to go and find that template that I just created. And now we have all sorts of options we can use as filters to say, well, which affiliates? Is it all affiliates? Or is it only affiliates that are running offer A or have had traffic since last week? We have all sorts of filters. So yeah, very, very powerful tool. This will actually be sent out through the email server that you provided when you first became a client. So yeah, this is something that we definitely want to highlight and showcase to you. All right. We're getting close to the end here. One of the sections that we also want to highlight on an ongoing basis is just understanding your usage. So as you are going through the months, you have a contract. And that contract with Cake is going to be based primarily on how many clicks and conversions you can track. So you may have a basic package with no included usage, or you may have a package that has 1 million clicks included. This is going to be a great tool for you to use to understand where am I in the month compared to my contract. So clicking on the Setup tab, we have the Usage sub-tab, and this is where you can find that very, very useful tool for just understanding where you are in your usage for the month. All right, now we started off our training kind of going through some fundamental basics and terminology. Now the first term that we learned was verticals. Verticals is one of the top level entities that I'm going to show you how to create in the system in our next training. However, because verticals happens to be the one entity that you create in our admin setup area, we are going to highlight that in this training, but then review it again in the next training. So I'm going to go ahead and click over. So a vertical, as we kind of mentioned already in the beginning, is really that industry used to categorize your offers. So you may have hundreds of verticals, you may just have one vertical. It doesn't really matter how the system is configured. It's really a tool for you for categorizing your offers primarily for your affiliates and for yourself in reporting. Now again, because that is within our admin section, we are going to show you how to set it up. So let me go into the Setup tab on the bottom left, and within that, we're going to have our Verticals sub-tab. So you're going to find when you first open up Cake, you should see 2 verticals in there as examples. But really, you're going to click on that Add Vertical button, and then from there, you're going to create your new vertical. Now, every vertical will require a vertical category. Cake comes with a giant complete list of categories. Categories are a minor feature in Cake. but it is an optional feature that allows you to say that you want to present your offers in the affiliate portal by category as opposed to vertical. So you may have really nuanced versions of a vertical. Well, maybe you use, mortgage as the vertical category, and then from within there you have different verticals of like refinance, jumbo loans, whatever that is for you. But we have that differentiation there so that you can use that as a tool. All right. So that is how you add verticals. Again, when we go through the whole setup, we will go through that again. But verticals is that one entity that you can add from within the admin section of our system. All right. So speaking of the system, and in the beginning we talked about third-party integrations, we are going to highlight a list of our third-party partners, primarily to give you an idea of what you can actually plug into Cake. So if you're doing email, or if you're doing any kind of like lead distribution management and you want to have better integration partners, we're going to highlight some of those. So when it comes to email list management or compliance with an email, we do have integration partners with Optismo, Ezepo, and SubCentral. Mobile app tracking, until we have some new rules around iOS 14 and some app tracking down the road, we do work primarily with these three partners, Kochava, AppsFlyer, and Branch. They work on a server-to-server integration. If you have any questions on how that works, feel free to reach out to support. From an accounting perspective, we partner and have integrations with Payoneer, Tipalti, and also QuickBooks Online. Payoneer and Tipalti are more of a payment gateway where you can actually pay your affiliates directly from within Cake. So it is a fully embedded and native experience. Versus QuickBooks is a way for you to push your financials to your QuickBooks Online account so that you can keep tabs of invoices. Fraud detection, we have Anura and we have Forensic. I'm sure there will be more on the horizon, but that actually allows you, or those integrations rather, allow you to actually identify fraud at the click or the conversion level. So we would highly recommend that you get in touch with these fraud partners because you just don't want to have any bad eggs in your network that are driving fraudulent traffic. You'd rather catch that up front and have eyes on it. So two amazing integration partners with us and give you that really granular control over that click traffic or conversion traffic. And lastly, we have some call tracking platforms. So if you're doing some pay-per-call campaigns, you can integrate with Dialog Tech or Invoca to actually say you set up the rules, and when a call happens, you can have a CPA get triggered to your affiliates either based on some kind of trigger or based on the call itself. So you can set that up within their platforms. But they've integrated with Cake to actually push that detail to us. All right, we are at the end of the presentation. For any kind of support and also just our services, we want you to have access to our technical support. So this presentation will be made available to you. Click on the links there. But otherwise, reach out to support@getcake.com. We also have our knowledge base at support.getcake.com. That's where our knowledge base is hosted. If you have any needs for custom tools or for a member of the Cake team to actually work inside of your Cake platform, almost as an extension of your team, we do have professional and managed services at Cake as well. So feel free to reach out to us. We do have a services section on the website as well. I believe that's getcake.com/services. We also would recommend you subscribe to our customer newsletter. That's where we're going to have all sorts of great information about upcoming feature releases, or just in case you missed it, there's all sorts of good content in our newsletter that we recommend you subscribe to. And then also the Cake blog, which can be found on getcake.com. So accessing technical support, we have an amazing support team. We have incredibly gifted staff members that are here to help you. Click on that your profile on the bottom left, and that's where you'll be able to get a hold of us either through the phone number or through email support. So you will have a certain support package when you signed up. But yeah, do not hesitate. Reach out to our support team. They're amazing. They're quick to respond. and we would love to help you get the help that you need. So what's up next? The next training will actually walk you through a setup and implementation where we go between the PowerPoint and a live Cake environment, showing you how to create all those new things with your new knowledge of the terminology, attribution, and some of the basics. So thank you so much for watching this. And again, welcome to Cake. And we are just excited to get to know you and to support you moving forward. Thank you very much.